Dating culture encompasses the social norms and practices surrounding relationships, including how we meet people, interact, and navigate romance. In this topic, I did a lot of extensive research about why modern dating is so different than dating back maybe like 20, 30 years ago. And I found a lot of good resources on why today's generation has struggled finding that perfect someone, perfect being not really real, and why a lot of us are choosing to stick out of the dating scene or just ignore it altogether, or maybe we're just head over heels and not really sure of where we are. Why in the LGBTQIA community, why they might have such a hard time finding love. It's because today's world has completely changed, and so has dating. And one of the first, sources I found, it's called "Why Modern Dating is Broken." A lot of it talks about laziness when it comes to people meeting each other. A lot of times people don't want to put in the hard work that comes with relationships, depending on sex as being the main focus of your relationship, as that can potentially harm your relationship or not do anything good. It's just physical. Social media being a big one, especially nowadays, most people use social media. That's become a really big problem when it comes to dating, because it's all about the aesthetics of dating and not the actual relationship itself. Another one is mental health. A lot of people are finding themselves drained when it comes to relationships, to the point where they no longer want to. And communication. Communication is big for anyone. And without communication, a lot of people don't want to date because it's not worth it in their eyes. And these are all things that are important when talking with your significant other, when you're looking for romance later on in life, or even now. The other source I found is that it's called Do Dating Apps Really Help You Find Love? And with this one, they made a lot of great points about, because social media has become something really big, so have dating apps. I know we all know a couple: Hinge, Tinder, Grindr, or any other eHarmony. A lot of them have this built-in kind of motto that says it's supposed to be designed to delete, meaning that it's supposed to help you find that one and then you delete the app. But a lot of times they don't do that. Most people get on those apps not looking for actual relationships. They're more looking for quick hookups or just quick situationships. A lot of women on there have no luck. And some men too, but a lot of it comes from women not having any luck. One woman said that she matched with about 40,000 men and still had no relationship. The follow-up, where you're supposed to meet face to face, a lot of times people don't want to get to that point. It's easier to hide behind your screen and not follow up face to face. And also no real work. There's no work being put in online. Online you can create this facade, but in person it's hard to follow up with that, especially if you can't back it up. The third source I found was types of modern romance. A lot of romance nowadays is changed, and it's not the same where back in the day, your parents might have found someone for you, or you would be exchanged for maybe farm or any source good at that time. A lot of times now it's just people find what are called love matches, and the types of romances now are not the same, where back in the day you used to just get married. You would date and then you would get married and that would be the end. Nowadays you go through the talking stage, the dating stage, the pre-relationship stage, and then the relationship stage, and then the marriage stage, and then maybe even the divorce stage. So with that, a lot of people are bouncing between stages, and with that comes the red flags. You're looking for red flags in each stage. A lot of times those red flags show up before you get to the dating stage and the marriage stage. So you keep bouncing back and forth between talking and dating. with the rise of online dating, it's becoming harder for people to connect with each other, which is causing people to be in either situationships or stuck in dating or just in the talking phase. And then also, a lot of times nowadays, there is such thing as setting boundaries. So a lot of times with relationships, we're setting boundaries for ourselves to help protect our peace, our mental state. And because of that, a lot of times people don't respect your boundaries, and therefore your relationships typically tend to end. And the last one is the new rules of dating for my source. A lot of times when people are talking or in their dating stage or even in their relationship stage, there are a lot of new rules that follow up nowadays versus back in olden times, or not really olden times, but maybe not in the 2010s or 2020s, maybe back in the 90s, 80s. There's a lot of new rules to when it comes to dating, especially because we now have more technology, more interactions with each other. We're able to communicate in different ways. A lot of times what happens is people end up ghosted. I've been ghosted a couple times. I know a bunch of people have been ghosted a couple times. It's such a devastating part where it can hurt you and it makes you not want to continue dating anymore or not be in a relationship because you realize you've been hurt and you're like, you don't even know why. Dating for the plot. I've heard this just recently this year or last year. A lot of times people are just dating just because they need something to do. They're bored. They need to spice up their life. So they said, hey, let's go on this date. But they don't actually have any real relationship. And avoiding labels. A lot of times people do not want to put a label on their relationship because it creates a boundary for them. And they don't want to be held down. They don't want to be put to a label because that means they actually have to commit. Dating is extremely hard nowadays. Dating for relationships, dating for friends, dating for anything. Romantic relationships are extremely hard to find in today's world. And it's a maze we all have to navigate, but we all are also just looking for someone to share our lives with, regardless of if it's romantic or not. We're all looking for someone. Thank you.